Welcome to Tangled and Splattered, where we paint and crochet like our lives depend on it. Today's project was inspired by this flower. Today we'll be painting on two different size canvases using acrylic paint. We have our inspiration photo printed, and you can see some more photos of this flower popping up. We have a variety of greens and yellows and pinks. We have white, orange, and brown. And now I'll get started. So now that we have our canvas out, I am going to mix some white and yellow as a starting point, and then I'll mix in some of that pink. But first, we're going to start with the bottom leaves that look a little bit more yellow on the flower. So we're going to start with yellow, and then we're going to layer some of that pink on top of that yellow. And you could go either way. You could start with the yellow and layer the pink while it's still a little wet, or you can mix the color before you start. I really like to mix my color on the canvas, and oftentimes while I will pre-mix the colors, I am looking to leave the color a little bit unmixed so that we can get some really cool texture effect on the canvas with the colors. So here you can see that we are going to go over with that other layer of petals for the flower. So usually with lilies, I see 2 layers of 3 petals. And so this top layer of petals, we're doing a little bit more pink. Again, this is meant to be kind of a peach, so it's a little bit of yellow and pink mixed together, maybe a little bit of orange in there. We're also very intentionally trying to leave that center space more yellow because there is a bit more of a yellow in the middle of the flower. So again, remember, I am looking at the reference painting here. I have it printed, it's on my desk, and I'm staring at it while I'm doing this. And since the paint is still wet, I'm doing some more, trying to add some more colors and get some more of that texture. I realized that I didn't like how big the leaves were on the bottom, so I am just working on making those petals a little bit bigger in this step and trying to mimic that same kind of light yellow peachy color. So after letting that part of it dry a bit, we are going over with our white acrylic paint, and we are trying to keep this really light and thin because we want the color to still show through. And the point of these little white dots is to make it look like water droplets. So we'll go in with the white to kind of create the droplets, and we'll do them a little messy since water droplets are messy. And then we're going to use these really small paint brushes in order to kind of create the slight shadows that you would see on water droplets. So here we are doing those water droplet shadows. I like to think that creating these kind of highlights and lowlights of the water droplets, the work is super tedious, and it helps you distract your mind from whatever else is going on in your life. So it's fun to just kind of play with the colors, play with the shadows, and just work on those details. And all of a sudden you stop thinking about whatever else is going on. So we keep working on these details, and after we're done with the water droplets, we take a look, and I think I just decided I wanted a little bit more shadowing, a little bit more kind of layer on this painting. So I decided to do a little bit of an outline and a little bit of a shadow behind the outline of each of the petals. So we're just going in some cases we're using a little bit of that brown or a little bit of those pinks, the darker color pinks, in order to kind of create that really nice outline. And then after outlining each of the petals, we'll go through and do a little bit of really light shadow work on each of those petals that are underneath other petals. And all I'm looking to do there is just to give a little bit more of a three-dimensional look. I'm not trying to make it look exactly like the flower. I'm just using the flower as inspiration. All right, so we're going in, we're creating those kind of shadowy looks in here. We're trying to balance out the shadow with the color so that we're not losing the beautiful petals that we've already created and the beautiful water droplets on those petals. So we're trying to be a little light with it and then adding in yellow to try to mute that kind of shadowy look. And we're just going to go through this for each of the petals that are kind of behind other petals. And then our next step is going to be to go in with the green. Oh, it looks like we actually missed a whole section where we put in the green center in the middle of the flowers. And the, what are those pollen things called? Anyhow, what we're doing with this green is we are just picking up both the light green and the dark green on the same brush at the same time and just letting those colors kind of mix, but also kind of leave a little bit of an effect by having both of those colors. So you'll see on the painting here that it kind of, I don't know. Do you want to call it ombre? I don't want to call it ombre. What do I want to call it? It just gives a really cool effect when you have those different colors or the different shades of green. So we're going around. These are the leaves. These are the leaves of the plant. These are, maybe it's the grass underneath. I don't know. It just really kind of makes it more earthy to get that green in on the painting. And if you look back at the inspiration photo, all of those kind of background leaves really do fill up that photo beyond just the one flower head, the one lily flower. And so I like to fill the canvas with the greens, just really kind of getting some texture in there. I also like to paint the sides because to me it feels more complete when those sides are also painted. And there we have it. I also went in and added some flower veins to the larger photo later with the iridescent pink that I had. So I missed a couple steps along the way, but I was really excited to share this with you because I was so inspired with these photos that I just couldn't wait to try to put some paint on a canvas and see what happened. Next week, I'll be sharing with you the purse that I've been crocheting. We'll start working on some more paintings, and then hopefully we will get started on the viewer request of a tote bag. So I'd like to hear from you. What colors do you want to see on this tote bag? Would you like it to be black and white, or do you want it to be different shades of blue and orange? Let me know in the comments, and I look forward to sharing more with you.